Hello, everyone. I thought today I would cover the news and of roguelike and roguish games. So I wanted to start out with the the covering some of the lesser news, but I'm just going to jump right into it right now. So the I don't know how many of you have been following the most popular rogue graphical games, but Tome Tales of Maj'Eyal has been one of the most popular games recently. On the PC, it certainly demonstrated its importance, and people who play it love it. Is it the hardest rogue game out there? No. Is it fun and easy to use? Yes. Is a learning curve to start the game small. And as far as rogue games are concerned, some of them require, a serious investment in time just to learn how to maneuver and control them. But this game, Tales of Maj'Eyal, has been pretty easy to pick up, and people have invested a lot of time in it. I've done a small demo on the Yeek Summoner. There's, I want to say, 10 different races and sub races, and many different characters. Summoners, your traditional one weapon fighter, two weapons, rogue types, assassins, magic users, mages, all with different names in those. But so the big news today is not the fact that this is a great game and a lot of people like it, and I would say it's kind of the follow-up to Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. And Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup was ported. I say ported. I don't know if it really was or rewritten. But was moved to the Android platform and was impossible to play. It's still available. It's not being that application is not being supported anymore. So if you play it, you're playing a down-rev version of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. But I assume it was just a port over, and the intent was by the author was to actually support that in the future. Well, it was announced recently, today maybe. They've shown some screenshots of Tales of Maj'Eyal on the Android platform, and they don't have a release date when it's going to be out, but it's going to be pretty soon. They'll probably say it's alpha or beta or something like that. I mean, I'm assuming they say Tales of Maj'Eyal is beta as it is. But this game, next to, I can't remember the name of the other one. It's on the tip of my tongue, but we'll come back to that. But there's other games on the Android platform that are great, easy to play. Pixel Dungeon is a great game, and that's the one I was thinking of earlier. I have a lot of time into that game. And this game, its simplicity in controls, but still has a lot of depth to it, which is hard to combine. So the controls in the PC, oftentimes I think, it'd be really nice if I could do this with a keystroke or this. And yeah, it's pretty powerful. Has some nice, not macros, but I would say macros, some really simple macros that work really well in it. But overall, I think the game is going to work really well on the Android platform. It just seems like a natural fit in the design of the game. So that's kind of what I wasn't planning on opening with that, but there you go. It'll be out, I don't know when, but I assume pretty soon. They wouldn't have released screenshots, so it's actually working on there. And hopefully what will happen is they'll establish a portable game that when they make underlying rule changes and updates, they can just port it over to there and support it without having to go through and change much of the actual engine itself. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a tablet, an old Android tablet, so hopefully that will work. And I certainly have a new Android phone. So that's exciting. And should I talk politics here? I'm just going to bring it up. Not politics per se. But I like role-playing games. Yes, I love rogue games, but I like role-playing games. But what I don't like is where Apple's gone with, or the iOS platform. Seems like every game on there is pay-to-play, freemium games. And I just don't like that feeling that in order to be successful, I need to pay for it. And some of the games are very fair about it. Others are not so fair. But I just like the idea of, especially with Tales of Maj'Eyal, is you don't have to even pay for the game. You just go download it. So anybody's listening right now and says, oh, well, I wish I could play that on the PC. You can. Go download it, play it. The first time they ask for money, unless you're the best rogue player there ever is, there are going to be 5-10 games in anyways. So they know you like the game. So play it, download it. It's free. Don't pay for it. I would recommend you to pay for it. It's a great game. You support the development of it and things like moving to the Android platform. Buy it on Steam. I like Steam. I don't know how that actually benefits them or if it does benefit them. But there you go. So I am looking forward to that. I think I think it's going to be a great game. I don't think it's going to be. I know it's not going to be a freemium game where they're like, well, you can play the game, but if you want to finish it, you really have to buy this sword. It's not going to happen. And I, for one, think great games like this, hopefully that more people will be involved in them. Great games like this show that you can make money and make a great game and have people enjoy it without actually charging for stuff like swords or purchasing dungeons to move on to. And so, I don't want to say this, but there's a right way to do this, to do freemium content. So, for example, if you say, I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but if you develop the game and you say freemium content, you can play the whole game, but we spent time, we went to Italy, we took photographs, we developed this racetrack, so you can play the whole game, but if you want this racetrack, it's going to cost you $1 or $2 or $5 or even $100. It doesn't really matter. But they said, if you want to play this racetrack, here's the cost. What I don't like is you're playing the game, you're going along, oh, you want to get the only car that will allow you to actually win the game, then you have to win that car on this track. And that track costs $4, $5. Or you can stop playing the game. Or you can play for 1,000 hours to buy that $1 million car and whatever. So I've said enough about that. But I'm very happy with the authors of Tales of Maj'Eyal and most of the Rogue games. The entire community, if you look at the community, it's got the open source feel to it, the pay for what you like. If you love our games, which I do love the games. Every game I've played more than 50 hours, let's say, I've paid for. I do want to play all of the Rogue games, but as you'll see today, I don't think that's going to happen. So looking really briefly, so maybe it will happen, but I've been noticing that with these 7-day development cycles for Rogue games, which if you don't know what the 7-day development cycle is, comic book creators have created comic books in 24 hours. And I'm not an artist and I'm not that great of a writer, but I would love just to sit down and wake up Sunday morning, or let's say Saturday morning. I guess it's when you would do this. Wake up Saturday morning with a pen, piece of paper, and just write until my heart's content, draw, whatever, for 24 hours, and whatever I have at the end of it, I publish. It's great. Maybe it doesn't create high quality work initially, but if you create a great comic book with kind of the backdrops of it, then you can say, okay, this is a great product, but I don't like this character, so I'm going to update this. So you release it, and then you go back and refine it a little bit, or do whatever the process you want to follow. Maybe that's it. You're done. Maybe you're a genius. Many of us are not. Most of us. And you have a printable, perfect comic book after 24 hours. It's awesome. I think I'll take that task on. I'm not sure where in my life I'll take that task on, but I think I will. That 24-hour development cycle. But with a Rogue game, it's kind of difficult to do 24-hour development cycle. So what they've done is a 7-day development cycle. So, and unless you're superhuman or doing something you shouldn't be doing, you can't stay up for 7 days. So they do is they track their time and they say, all right, so I'm gonna develop this game. They track their time, and whenever I believe it's 168 hours is up, they have the game. In theory, they release it and it works. Does it have everything in it? Probably not. But is it a great start and a good introduction to their game, their concept, what's in their mind? I think a lot of times it is. And I'm going to show some of those games in my YouTube stream. Can I cover all of them? I don't know. What I'm noticing is that there seems like there's more games released than there is days of the year that I would be able to play them. So I don't know if it's going to hold true, but I have played some wonderful games and I've enjoyed them. Let me look at my list here and show you or tell you just a few of the games that I've liked. So, Endless Legend, not even a rogue game in the least. I thought it was initially. I didn't do a lot of research into it. Fun game. I don't know if I'll play it more. One Way Heroics. I loved it. Well, nothing like Tales of Maj'Eyal, but in the sense that it's easy to play and simple to do, and you feel good. You feel good about playing this game. You just has fun. So it's not the brutal jump in the dungeon and everything's out to kill you, and every step you take is going to be the last. And one of the other games that I played recently, of course, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is a great game, and I do want to get back and play that one more. But one of the other ones that I thought was interesting that I didn't actually enjoy was, when I say not enjoy, I don't think I had the skills necessary to play the game. Crypto the Necrodancer. And what you're doing here is you're actually, it feels like you're getting out of your seat a little bit and actually doing something in the real world, but you're playing the game based on a beat. So every move is based on the beat. So you're moving down, you do that, and it goes boom, 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 boom. And if you go over a half beat, there's got to be some flexibility in there. But if you're at a half beat, then you go boom, boom, boom. Then the game doesn't respond and you miss. So and you get combinations based on how many beats you get. So if you're attacking, which is the same as the move keys, you don't need to like think, oh, well, I'm attacking, or what key do you need to press? It's all the same key. You go boom, 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 attack. And it's all part of that rhythm. And the game is easier to play if you stay in beat, obviously. That's kind of the basis of it. But a fun take on the strategy game. I like the idea of the game. Am I going to play it? Probably not. But I think that game shows us, and the same thing with Tales of Maj'Eyal and Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, is that this community here is growing and showing different ways of playing it. Now, this is almost going to be sacrilegious when I mention this next game I like, and I haven't done a playthrough on this one, but I'm going to do it, is Rogue Shooter, the FPS roguelike. I think there's 2 FPS, first-person perspective rogue games out, maybe more. But another fun game, easy to use, and you do die. You die. Let me look on my Steam list here. Sadly, I have 53 hours into this game, and I plan on having a lot more. It is a fun game, and you basically, very simplistic, 2-dimensional kind of FPS game where up and down don't matter, but left and right is your access. So you never have to move the mouse up and down. But still, even though it's simple, it's still fun and works well. So games this week: Hunger and Thirst on the Island, and The Chronicles of Dorian. Let me look at all these. So another game called Cadora has been updated. So let me look here. So Rot Magus was updated on January 5th. There's an Angbang, PWM Angbang, which I have not played this game, but it does sound pretty interesting. And it's a modification on the Angband game gameplay. So, and I have played that game quite extensively, and I played it on Ubuntu. So I enjoyed the playing it on that console, and then I moved. It wasn't called the Web Tiles, but moved over to the graphical version of it, and it was just a lot easier to play in that type of environment. I like the way it looked better. So, and again, for a lot of the true people out there that are probably turning over right now going, oh my God, what do you mean you like playing the graphical version of a game? Those are the worst. The only true way to play a rogue game is use your imagination and play the game. So Um, you know, I agree. I agree. If you can play a rogue game and sit there and see the environment you are in, I am jealous. I truly am. Maybe I can do it in the beginning of the game, but if you're 50 hours in, you kind of lose that. But that's what I like about the graphics, because you see that. And the 2D graphics, okay, I know there's FPS rogue games out there, first person perspective games that have nice graphics that are like dungeon crawl games. I haven't played them yet. The one I mentioned earlier, Rogue Shooter, is not that. It's kind of a space thing. The walls are empty. At best, you're looking at a couple flower pots every once in a while. But I'd love to play one of those. And but if you can use your imagination, and every step you take, you see the environment out there, by all means, play with the ASCII version. I think that's absolutely the right way to do it. I don't have that consistency of an imagination to play for that long and see that much stuff on the screen. After a while, I'm just looking at the text, worrying about what I'm going to do next. So, but you know, that's one of the great things I think about this genre, and I think that it's growing, is because there's so many different things you can do with it. So on January 5th, again, Demon Tactics, kind of going through some of the games that have been released. Angband, again, updated in January 4th. So just a few days ago, Legend of Sigrid, Yendor, Voyage to Farland. And those are just updates of games that have been just recently. So on Steam, The Depths of Tolaga, and it came out January 5th. Vintage Year, which I have not played, but this game does interest me. I'm not sure if it's a true rogue game or not. So, but we'll get into that in just a minute. I have an interesting perspective on this, and I'm not sure who's going to agree with me on it, but I'm going to throw it out there, get your feedback on it. Neo Scavenger. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I won't be able to remember the name of it. I saw a demo of it. Next week, I will find out the game, maybe even play the demo, or show the demo. The game's not out yet. Show the movie trailer of it. But there's a rogue game where basically you're dropped on, and everybody's probably typing in right now, oh my God, this is this game, because I know it's a simple thing. But you're basically dropped onto an island, and your goal is to survive. So kind of like DayZ a little bit. So, those of you who haven't played DayZ, which I think is no one, DayZ is basically a zombie game. I shouldn't say no one. It's a zombie game, really, really dark, I would say, and the zombies are not your problem. I love the game. You need a commitment of time to play it. It is fun, but unlike rogue games, this is multiplayer. Or unlike most rogue games, this is a rogue game multiplayer. So you spawn, you have nothing. So, okay, back to the game, the island game. So you basically spawn, you dropped in, you're on an island, and you need to survive. The graphics look top-notch, stunning. Stunning game. Stunning game. So I'm really looking forward to that one coming out. DayZ. Cover it real quick. If you haven't played it, you're basically dropped into post-apocalypse world, and there's zombies around. They're not your threat, as always. Threat is all the people around you. So you spawn. Let's see, you got a knife. It's minimal equipment. The problem is, and the great part is, the problem is, great part, depends on your perspective, is it's a rogue game where most rogue games, you are in charge of your destiny. Yes, there's monsters there. They're generated. You know all the rules of the environment. You know how things are going to happen. You know you're going to spawn in this dungeon. You know you're going to go into this dungeon. When you're there, this is going to happen. You're going to meet these bad guys. They're going to be this powerful. You're going to be this powerful. You're going to get these weapons. So the world is defined, and you choose your actions based on this. DayZ, and I think we're going to see more games like this, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. But DayZ, you're dropped into a world that the world follows rules, but the other players don't. So basically, the monsters, who are the other players, don't follow any rules. Yes, there are some zombies that are controlled by computers, but really they are not the threat to the players. So my third playthrough, I met a nice guy, which is not easy to do. He said, hold your hands up, and gave me a bunch of different orders, get on your knees, whatever, and then proceeded to tell me how the game was played, got me a weapon, and we went on a little adventure together, and I got shot in the head or in the body or something and ended up dying. So I thought that's what the game was all about. I was wrong. The game was much more brutal than that. But fun game. I love it. I'm actually inspiring myself to play it tonight. But I'm looking forward to more games like that. The rogue game genre, in my opinion, is wide open right now. And I think the story arc games, yes, people love them. But I think you're going to see this gaming generation right now, the youngest gaming generation, is going to get bored of those games. You know, I look at kids today playing Minecraft on creative mode. Yes, it's great. So much better than other ways of spending time. But there's no risk there. And I think the rogue games bring in that risk. And multiplayer rogue game is risk. Lots of risk. So it's exciting. It's exciting. And isn't that why we play games, is to be excited? And I think rogue games are the most exciting games. So I kind of had an argument with somebody this other day. Not an argument, right? Just a discussion. So rogue games, which is the original one, there's only one, right? Or maybe some people say a couple offshoots of it are a rogue game. So the genre has been called roguelike. And I want to add a new term, and that's roguish. Because if DayZ, for example, said with your character, this will never happen, but every 5 days or every 10 levels, which there's no levels inside the game, another part that's great because no one's more powerful, it's just the equipment they have or how they use it, which equipment is a big deal in DayZ, don't get me wrong, but all the people are still the same. But if after a certain amount of time or a certain amount of achievements, you could earn a life, or in the situation with DayZ, you can earn a defib and then defib your friends and all that kind of stuff so you can actually survive. You go into, I think, the roguish category. DayZ does not have that kind of features, although you can revive yourself after being shot, but they do it through a very explainable way that your friends have to revive you and they have to have the tools and the equipment, maybe blood bags or whatever. So I still consider that roguelike. But in Tales of Maj'Eyal, they do have roguelike where you're born, you get one life to live it however you want, you die, you're dead. But they also have what I would call a roguish feature, a roguish style game. And that is where you have 3 lives to start out with. And every few levels, it's like 1, 2, 5, 15, 30. It's more than that, though. But every so many levels, you get another life. So what I found is roguish. So first off, I don't want to be in exploration mode or God mode, or I don't want to cheat like that. And I've never done that in DCSS, even though it's been tempting at times, because it takes away from the game. But I like the roguish aspect where I have lives. I don't have unlimited lives, but I have lives, and I can respawn. And if you haven't played Tales of Maj'Eyal, download it. It's free. I recommend it. It's a great game. You'll have fun with it. I guarantee it. But the way they do the spawning process is fun. Even when you really think about what you actually go through, I don't want to tell you what it is because if you haven't played it, I'd like you to enjoy that the first time it happens to you. But when you're playing the game, you don't instantly die, and that's a great way to start the game and have fun with it. So you don't lose your character at level 5. But what happens is, because you're playing a rogue game, if you're behind the curve, or if you've made some poor choices that make your character weak, like buffed up your strength on a wizard, which of course you know you'd never do that, but or maybe made not the greatest choices, and your character is unsustainable, it doesn't matter how many roguish lives you have or how many lives you actually have within limits. If you have 10 lives and your character is halfway through the game and is behind the curveball, it doesn't matter. It's still a roguelike game, but that one mistake doesn't end everything. Now, I get it. I love rogue games. I love roguelike games because of the one life thing. But sometimes it's fun to play without the stress of one life deciding everything. And so I like that aspect of it. I know a lot of people probably disagree with that, but to each his own. So you want to play a rogue game or roguelike game? Go ahead and play it. But I do like this roguish atmosphere. And in order to get the younger gamers to play, I think just them jumping in and just dying one time may be the last time they play the game. But if they come in, Tales of Maj'Eyal, for example, which defaults to that adventure mode where you've got, let's say, 4 lives plus so many more, I think they'll like the game more, and they'll get to explore more, and they'll get to see more. So they just don't load up on level 1, and the first monster that comes in or the first group that hits them on the second dungeon kills them. They actually get a chance to explore the game. And then later on, they can turn it on and go roguelike. So I do want to cover more topics. There's a lot of stuff out. If you go to if you type roguelike and Steam and everything else, there's games in there called Bit Dungeon 2, Dungeon Mans, Skill Tree Saga. I haven't researched them all. They classify them as roguelike, but you know, as you know, a lot of what they say is roguelike for selling purposes really isn't. I would say some of them are roguish like-ish. So, or some level of abstraction away from being an actually roguelike game. But just summarize, play what you enjoy, but I recommend if you have 2,000 hours in the Angband or a lot of hours in this specific game, branch out, check them out. You don't have to go to my YouTube channel, but I have some of them on there. I'm going to be covering more of them. But I do like the idea that I can play a different type of game, be into the same genre, and have just as much fun. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.